And I wanted to ask you, so who was Jeff Kraus, the kid? Like what, I know you always say, you were a little fat kid, but like who were you when you were younger?
Man, I was trying to fit in. I grew up in a double wide mobile home trailer park.
St. Louis, right?
Right outside of St. Louis.
Yeah.
It was in Granite City. It was on the border of Collinsville and Granite. Very blue collar, city. And my mom was a dietitian, and she worked, every other weekend. And, it was one of those things where, we didn't have the nicest stuff, but she did what she could to like give us something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was a confused kid, you know what I mean? Like during the I think it was 4th, 5th grade, my mom put me in a baseball, and, it was one of those things that like fit into the group.
Yeah.
We never went to the public pool, you know what I mean? We had a little blow up, and we're like out there, we're like, belly flopping on a 5-incher.
No diving. It's 6 inches deep. Yeah.
And then, to be put into an environment where, and now these guys are like my friends, you know what I mean? Like I go home and I see them, but they were on the other side of the tracks and going into the public pool, the fancy pool, because I was on the baseball team. It was so confusing to me because I was like, man, how did they get there? And I think I've always been inquisitive. And I think that's what's always got me in trouble in school.
Sure.
Plus I couldn't see, man. It was my first year in baseball that the coach is like, I don't know, like, why can't you see why do you keep getting hit by the baseball? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, am I hit? I don't know. He's like, then they realize, okay, I can take a hit. So they kept putting me on the plate to get a hit. You know what I mean? Like,
they would put you up the bat so you get hit by a pitch so you could take a base?
Free base. I'm like, that's cool.
Put in Kraus. We need a base runner. Okay, pinch runner. He's slow. Get him out.
I needed always to be like escorted out there because I couldn't see him. Like, you know what I mean? Ray Charles, be like, where's the plate? But then the coach is like, yo, and my mom's name is Barb. He's like, yo, you need to probably get his eyes checked because I think he's blind. You know what I mean? So after 4 or 5 years.
How old were you?
4th or 5th grade.
Okay.
You know
Okay. Yeah.
So then that turned my world upside down because I was like, whoa, this is what the shower looks like. This is what the pavement looks like. Like I felt like a whole new kid, Yeah. But man, I was kind of confused and lost. I had an older brother. He was good. He was really good at football. Okay. And I wasn't. He was very smart. I wasn't, but I was always funny and I was always energetic. I was always like, like that little dog running around. So I was always able to like connect with all kinds of different people. But ultimately, man, I was a geek. I was a nerd. Trying to be cool with my little Elks baseball jacket on, wearing the 29. I was like, what?
Walking with your cleats on so people know you play baseball. Yeah. So were you into creative things though? Were you like
cook, man?
Okay, so you did. Okay. Your mom being a dietitian, she was probably a great cook.
No, like government cheese, like, I mean, you're talking biscuits and gravy. Good. I mean, it was like one pot casseroles, you know what I mean? And we had more potato soup than anybody ever in history, maybe even more than the Russians, you know what I mean? But we had a little farm, like a little garden. So that I learned, a lot about, doing a lot with little. And I say that all the time, but man, I use an analogy about new potatoes, no potatoes. You know what I mean? Like everybody loves a potato, and guess who's got the potato of all potatoes? The russet. Like everyone knows the russet. You know what I mean? These little waxy ones has its purpose, but man, that russet is always around, and there's always so many things you can do with it. And you can feed an army off of a potato. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, man, that stems from, my childhood, but my mom, a lot of love. We camped a lot. We did a lot of family stuff. She brought the family together, and her role was, and she was always the host. And we were broke, dude. We were broke, and she would always entertain. There was always enough to give others. And I learned a lot about, generosity and caring and actually having actions more than words. But man, she was pretty phenomenal. And she was also a criminal. Like she was a criminal. Like she would put us, especially me with high energy. And I didn't think about this till later. Yeah. she would tell me often to go play in traffic. Like, she's like, don't say my name. I had a speech impediment. She's like, don't say my name unless you could say like an 18-word syllabus name.
Yeah.
That was her way of like, shut up, you know, just like relax. That was before all the Adderall pills and stuff took place there. But man, she would take, like, during the corn season, I kind of consider this like Robin Hood. She was a criminal, but I definitely don't approve of any of this now.
Yeah.
But I guess because of survival, we got to do what we have to do. She would take a big old pillow sack or like sew up a sheet and just run us out to the cornfield. She's like, whoever can get the bag filled the fastest can eat the first corn all the crops. I was like, what? I'm coming back all cut up, like, you know what I mean? Looking like
you Sonic the Hedgehog right through the tearing down the stalks.
Dude.
But like doing what she has to do, right? To you know, I mean, honestly, dude.
She also made me work for them for free. So I think that was a trade-off. You know what I mean? I think guilt got her. So in the, you know, she made me work. I was like, man, I didn't last very long, especially when they told me to go take a deuce around the corner. I was like looking for a potty John or like one of those things. They're like, no, like go cat hole that. I'm like, we've gone camping before, but I'm not cat hole anything in the middle of a horseradish cornfield. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not pooping where I bought corn from, right?
Right. And I was like, I don't get paid enough. Like, I didn't get paid anything. Yeah. Hence why we took the corn. I think.
Yeah. No, it's full circle, man. It's full circle. Yeah.